Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the weather. Yeah, we can finally control it. I mean, in Planet Coaster 2. And yes, that intro sounds like a little small talk intro with absolutely no sense at all. However, we are going to talk about the weather in Planet Coaster 2 and how absolutely disappointing it is. But more about that in a second. I just want to quickly give a context to this video before we go rambling about the weather in this game and why I feel like we have to talk about it. It's such a absolutely core element of the game, or actually it should be, I should say, and I was really hyped for the weather. I didn't make the video in the first place because I thought we are going to expect a winter update. I mean, we had a winter update of some kind and we had a DLC of some kind. Never mind, let's not talk about that DLC because we shall not talk about Bruno. However, this update is a winter update which, well, as a big surprise, I should call it, had the fireworks in it. Don't get me wrong, I like fireworks, I think it's a solid update, but like we now have the situation in which we can safely say this game is never gonna see snow, unless they are going to bring it in next year with winter update, which makes no sense at all, and I've really zero hope for that. But the fact that we don't have snow could be neglected if the rest of the weather implementation would be nice. Is it though? It's the question. See, there is another Frontier game I quickly want to pull out of the cupboard, just pull out of Steam, I should say, and this is Planet Zoo, obviously. By the way, it's been played more than Planet Coaster 2, despite being over 5 years old, but that's a different story. Now, this game, Planet Zoo, kindly brought weather into the Frontier Planet series, I should say, and till this day it is absolutely great. It's not visually great, it is visually great, but not only visually great, it has also some influence on the game. It doesn't have the biggest influence, and yes, we have been very nitpicky about it could be potentially be even more influential in Planet Zoo, but it does apparently have an influence. You know, having it snow is according to the temperature. Goes the temperature lower than, let's say, 2 or 1 degree Celsius, and there is some, a downfall in here, then we do have snow coming down, which means then eventually everything is going to be covered in snow. It builds up nicely. Very nice effect. It looks fantastic. It, again, as I said, aesthetically, it looks already pretty nice. But you also have this wonderful effect of being indoors and having all the sounds muffled, and then also going outside, walking through the snow, you get this wonderful muffled effect of the world around you being muffled. And there's so much love to detail. And then you also have rain in Planet Zoo, which looks fantastic. And you even have like these little driplets falling down from the side of a building, and it just looks very believable. And it is also calculated correctly. Like if you put something on top of something else, then below you don't have water and the water dribbling to the sides. And it is very, very, very surprising that they just didn't take this weather system and ported that over into Planet Coaster 2. Because eventually, why wouldn't you? Where is the point in making a new weather system when this one in Planet Zoo, the same engine, the same type of game, the same type of looks and aesthetics, does already bring it all to the table? Like, seriously, you created more work than you actually needed to. And yes, before we get too much into just taking that over, we should not forget about the fact that Planet Coaster 2 has more weather than Planet Zoo had, because now we have sunny, we've got hot, fully sunny, we've got cloudy, we've got windy, we've got stormy, and we've got light rain, and we've got heavy rain. So seemingly more weather, or like different types of weather, with seemingly a lot less impact. Like there's like really no impact between light rain and heavy rain, while both of them makes people, okay, take out some umbrellas, okay, and eventually go for rides that have less shelter or not. It's so subtle that I couldn't even take some footage for you guys because the difference is not really visible. It's not visible enough to talk about it. It's not visible enough to make it work. Then we have rain effects, which I really have a hard time to judge it. On one angle, it looks fantastic. On the other angle, it looks way too sunny and way too bright. Like light rain is completely and absolutely unnecessary. Don't even know why it exists. It's like you barely see the effect. It doesn't actually add anything to the game, and it just is there. So don't get me wrong. I love the wind effect. I've talked about that earlier. The wind actually has a visual impact on the game, which is great. You have no wind at all, and then the trees mostly just wave slightly, you know, just as if there's like a light breeze going. And then when you've got wind, you basically have a hurricane category 5 apparently at your hand. So don't get me wrong, again, it is great to have something like that, and with a bit of balancing and fine-tuning, this would be very nice. But then again, it doesn't have any impact, has it? And it's so frustrating because I couldn't even figure if it has. Like, I tried to, but I didn't find it in the scenarios or so. Does it really have an impact or not? Or maybe I just didn't see it because I sped through the game. And this is another point I wanted to talk about. Now, Frontier has brought in something so great with the new time management and having a full day cycle as the core idea of the management aspect of the game and also simulation aspect of the game. But then again, the weather isn't according to the day, it's just like random. You've got 6 type of weather a day sometimes, or like you've got like a windy, rainy, stormy, heavy rain, windy, hour per hour, which I like the fact that changing per hour because that just makes it all more dynamic, but that's just not how it goes, okay? It's like, oh, okay, unless we are having April for the whole year, at least for us Central Europeans, then you could argue that's fine. But like usually what you should have is a more stable transition of like having a day of light rain going into heavy rain, or like a windy day that causes some more problems to your park according to what the type of influence is. Like having heavy winds, for example, would cause some tall roller coasters to basically be non-functioning this day, or actually have a way higher security impact when not being maintained correctly. The same goes for very much rainy days. A lot of rainy days, selling umbrellas and so on could become a actual financial impact for your park if you do that. While at the same time, building more shelters and covers could make you have more guests in your park than before. So having an active impact on the game would be not just likable, but it would actually be meaningful to the weather. And last but not least, I want to end this on my biggest grief, or like biggest problem about weather, which already existed in Planet Zoo, by the way, so to not just praise Planet Zoo too much, but I was like one step at a time. So the weather in Planet Zoo has been absolutely fantastic. It had impact, it was great looking, it was really nicely realized in the game, the sound design, the visual design, the VFX, everything is great. The only thing that was never good was the fact that no guests do react with their clothing, with their outer appearance. Now, I never thought that this was a thing that could be made worse, but it apparently they mastered that. They brought in pools, which is a great thing, and people wearing swimsuits, which makes sense. I just can't understand why in the winter times in this game, being 3 degrees or lower, or like, well, I don't know, 10 degrees or lower would already be enough, people still run around in their swimsuits without any heating, without anything else, like making it even more ridiculous that we have the single element of weather control is heat, which is insane, because this is the least thing I would think about. Like, when I heard that they have a sun cover management and you need to sell sunshade, sunscreen and stuff like that, I was like, oh my god, they absolutely understood it, because they already mastered that in Planet Zoo. They are now giving us the icing on the cake. Apparently, they gave us the icing on the cake without the cake, which I don't like. Don't get me wrong, guys, I absolutely hate making this video for the sake of making this video, because I want this game to be great. I want this weather to be exactly what we deserve it to be. And I know too many people at Frontier who are passionate and hardworking, and I know how obsessed they are with the details. I know how insanely involved they are in what the community thinks, and I'm just like feeling that there is a different force keeping them away from doing what is necessary to be done. And I, again, tried to avoid that topic until I knew what is going on with the winter update, which we do know now. And, you know, in a couple days, there's Christmas Eve. There's not going to be a super secret surprise Christmas update. It would be super weird to have an addition of snow in January, February. Why would you? It's like you missed the opportunity. But then again, whatever's going on there's no thing is guaranteed at the moment. But like, having this situation, to come back to my point, this sheer weird moment of not having any reaction of the guest to the weather, whether it's being in animations or what they are wearing. And again, in Planet Zoo, I did understand that it was kind of hard because you didn't have a season or anything. You just had a day, and at that day, when the weather changed to 0 degrees, how would the guests be changing their clothing? There would be no way of doing that, I understand. You would need to magically just snap your finger and like Thanos did, and then everyone just, you know, either vanished or comes back in winter clothing. But now with having actual seasons in the game and a transition between day and day and day, the only thing you need to do is like have a transition of a certain amount of guests per day, which you have anyways, because people will leave the park at the end of the day and will come back in the morning. You can just change. You have autumn, and at the beginning of the autumn, you will have people wearing shirts and shorts and transition them slowly into a bit more of a moderate clothing, like with longer trousers and maybe a hoodie or so. And then at the end of the autumn, going into the first month, first day of December, you're going to see them wearing beanies and stuff like that, which again is hilarious because all of this type of clothing is in there. The models are available. Like, I don't need a bajillion amount of different beanies or whatever. Just recolor them, fine, have 2 or 3 types. Done. It is so frustrating to see that all these things. Oops, I hit my microphone. It's finally a Rudy video, by the way. I always need to do that. I absolutely adore the way how guests look and how they behave. I've said that before. I'm a big fan of this art style. I know many people may not be, or even those who have been may have grown to not like it as much anymore. I still like it. I like the fact how unique that is, and I still believe that the guests in their art style work fantastically fine. It's something they should definitely build upon, and they have made them already a bit more detailed compared to Planet Zoo, while they were more detailed compared to Planet Coaster, and so on and so forth. I just don't understand why this edition wasn't made, and everything we look into, everything we try to analyze and try to understand goes always back to the point. This game needed more time, you know. But like, I'm here, and you know it's hard for me to find the right words, because at this point I'm like, I know the people there, or at least I think I know them, and I know that they want to make it the best game possible from their perspective, but I'm not sure if their perspective is valued enough, if their perspective is what really matters. And at this point I'm like, hey, can you just like adjust the weather to what it was in Planet Zoo, please? Like, that's all I want. Okay, keep the wind, get rid of the light rain, no one needs that one. Just give us the rain from Planet Zoo, give us the snow from Planet Zoo, and just increase the amount of influence that it has to the game. It's not a big thing, you know. It's definitely smaller than some of the adjustments made in the first big update now. And I'm just here to hopefully make this point, and hopefully Frontier's watching this video. I'm not sure if they consume my stuff anyways, but whatever. If you're listening, Frontier, this is by any means this is all shit or whatever video. This is like, we are so passionate, and we all love that. And like, there is footage of Taron, one of the most famous coasters here in Germany, in the snow. If I remember, I'm gonna put this on screen somewhere right now so you guys can see it. It is fantastic. It just, I don't know, being coaster enthusiast or theme park enthusiast, this is just something that makes you feel so great, and this is a wonderful thing to see, and having the chance now to witness that in the game would be amazing. And this is what I don't understand. Like, you have a game that is a follow-up of an already great game, and everyone expect weather. And again, to just full circle moment, at the beginning of the video I said that I was so hyped about weather in this game, because I genuinely think this was one of the biggest misses in Planet Coaster 1. You know, being that time 2016, being a new game, you kind of could understand that, but that was one of these little things where I was not too forgiving, because I thought even back then you could have done some rain. But like, being very excited about this now in the game, seeing how all this will impact. And I even made a video about this in Planet Zoo, using the rain and stuff in Planet Zoo to make visible, or like just to showcase how good that will be in a potential Planet Coaster 2. And then just to find out that it's half-baked again. So yeah, I want to use that video also to get your opinion on that. Please go now down into the comment section and make sure to really give me an idea what weather could be used for else. I want to make this the biggest possible list of ideas what type of influence weather can have on a game. And also, is there any type of weather I forgot about? Maybe hail? I don't know. I mean, it's not talking about tornadoes or so, but like, is hail a thing? I don't know. Or freezing? Is just freezing a thing? Let me know in the comments down below, and we're gonna make the biggest list of cool impacts of weather. And who knows, maybe Frontier's proving me wrong, and yet again, and doing some cool stuff with the weather in a future weather update or whatever. So that would be good. But in any case, that's been it. Thank you for watching us so much. And also, by the way, thank you all so much for that thing over here. It's going to be a video about this soon as my voice is cleared, whenever that will be. But huge thanks to all of you. Without you, that wouldn't have been possible. So, well, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and let me hear your opinion on weather. Let's just close that casual small talk about weather. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.